Okay, so I was literally just thinking, I was going on my notes and I was like, which past life tale have I forgotten to record? And there was one where I was a speakeasy singer. That's not the one I'm doing right now because I totally forgot about this one where my eyes turned into universes. And that was my joy, basically. Like, it's when, how do I say? As a mystic, as a channel, as a like a healer and a guide, you know, it's I can't just like, God, I got a channel today. Can today be the day I record? Can you just pick up the phone? It doesn't work like that. So when you're grounded, when you're in flow, it's like definitely like I'm so prepared when I hold one-on-one sessions, but when it comes to this type of channeling and this type of recording, I think there's no prepping for it. So I've just been in flow. I've been recording a bunch. I just recorded my circus performer past life, but today we are going to talk about when my eyes turned into universes. It's such a cool one. Okay. So this is the time of, oh my goodness, like as I'm talking to you, other past lives that I need to record are coming into my being. So yeah, there's just little blips of them. Like this, I just wrote the one that I was burned at the stake, and then the one where my human fell in love. Those are fun. Those are fun. So this one is during like witches in the woods type stuff. So like kind of picture like Sleepy Hollow time periods, if you would, where like the bruja, the woo, she lives in the woods, and when you got something that you can't understand, you go see her. And she's gonna chain herself to the walls. So like the thing comes out and you're protected, and she's cutting the chicken legs off and stuff like that, where I have one. It's really cool. It helps rake out negative energy. So freaking cool. So basically in this lifetime, I was a daughter of one of the wealthy townspeople, one of the, you know, families that were very well known. And at that time period, it was literally just money that made you like, you were the mayor because you had all the land and stuff like that. It wasn't like you were elected into something. It was just like money ruled the world. So I was, you know, the middle daughter of the wealthy, you know, being in town. But I, you know, I was woo-woo. I was woo-woo through and through. Woo-woo through and through. And so something happened. I did something, levitated, something happened. They're showing me, hold on. No way. You sure? Before I say this. I brought an animal back to life. That's what they're saying. I brought an animal back to, I've never seen that before. I brought an animal back to life. It looks like a farm animal, like a cat or a chicken or a cow or something. It was an animal that was needed for farming. I want to say it was a baby cow or a chicken. It was some version of an animal that would be slaughtered for meat, for sustenance. So it was a needed animal. So I'm not going to say cat, maybe a goat or something like that. And I healed it. It did a Reiki healing on it. They knew that it would have died. So it wasn't dead and I brought it back from the dead. It was like, it was gonna die. There was something that like they could tell was very wrong with it, whether it had like a limp, it had something going on, something was really like medically wrong with it, and I healed it. I did like a Reiki healing on it. And they were so freaked out that they literally like, it was very Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I'm so embarrassed by your different, literally go walk into the woods and never come back. This has so much to do with the past life tale as the first blue-eyed of the tribe. I like that one definitely. There's parallels in all of them, as you can see that there's this little arc. And so I go off into the woods. I know that there's a witch in the woods, and so I find that witch, and I basically am like, what do I do? And she's like, you'll be my apprentice now. She taught me for a little bit, and she had this very big, like a horse, like a massive horse, but like that you would expect it to be I wanted to say that it was black, but it looks like white or gray or like caramel color or something like that. Very, very like, and they have traveled together in lives together. That witch and that dog or horse has like became a dog for that person in another life. So I just want to highlight that if you have an old soul animal friend in your life, it's possible that when you were a king or a queen, that they were your steed, and that's why your dogs like love you so much and want to protect you so much. That's why, you know, if you have like a hunting dog and they like literally like will never leave you, there's a reason for that. They feel the changing world too, as old souls. So just wanted to highlight that. And so I learned a little bit underneath this person. And there was basically this, they had to leave. She had to go do something. My guides are saying it doesn't matter why she left. For the story, it doesn't matter why she left, but she left and she never came back. Basically, she left me in her home in the woods, telling me that she would come back, and she never came back. And so, although I'm sorry, they're showing me so many different things, so I apologize. When I'm talking to you, it's right here, but when my guides are showing me pictures, it's over here. I'm just taking in a bunch of different information all at the same time, so I'm just going to check in for 1 second and just come right back. There was a flash of light in the sky, and it didn't make sense to you. It didn't make sense to anyone, and only a few saw it. Everyone else just thought nothing of it. But there was a flash of light in the sky, and it was as if like the energy hits me. I'm in this like cabin in the woods, and the energy, I like look up, I see the thing in the sky coming, and then this wave of energy hits me, and I fall back and I fall asleep, and I'm sleeping for 2 to 3 days, they say. And when I wake up, I don't know how I see it. I go to a river and I look into the river and I see that my eyes have become the view of universes where they're spinning. Like, it's literally like, you know, when you look at the Milky Way in the picture and you see all the different things, and it's like a universe, like it's space, and they're spinning. And so my eyes become like a horse of a different color, where you're looking into my eyes, but it's literally universes spinning. Literally universes spinning. And so I see that because like I'm just questioning my guides, like I don't have a mirror or anything. How do I know that this happened? And they say you look in your reflection in the stream. And you see that. And for a while, you're like, what the fuck do I do? If you can't stay here, you can't live in this person's house. You kind of have to like something. And I like was healed. I was anew. So they're saying you didn't need food. You didn't need a lot of food. You were just different. I've never seen that before. Oh my God, this is so freaking cool. So I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait, and my teacher never comes back. Maybe eventually she comes back. She gets hurt. She steps in a bear trap, and something happens to her. But that's not a part of this story. But that's why she's like, somebody has to take care of her, they're saying. I don't need to know more. Stop focusing. Okay. You can literally, if I change my focus, that's how quickly it is. I can look down that corridor and I could try, but my guides are saying don't look down that corridor, so I'm going to look at this story. But literally, that's how intense. I just want to highlight for anyone who does any sort of metaphysical stuff, like that's how easy it is to be like. So I recognize that it's longer than, you know, it's like Frodo waiting for Gandalf when Gandalf is stuck for a little bit. He's got to continue his journey. So I recognize I kind of have to go back to town. I gotta do something. So I go back to town and I find a brothel, an inn. Same thing at that time. I'm writing down that there was a whole past life tale where I was the oldest prostitute in the brothel. I don't think that it's not the same lifetime, but that's part of my restaurant. I'm just writing down all the past life tales that are coming as I'm channeling this one. So I come back to town and I start working at an inn. And I'm still like 22. I'm on the younger side. That's old back then, but I'm 22. So in my human eyes, I'm still great. But I'm, very magical. It's literally on my face. I can't not open my eyes. And I can't like Cyclops from X-Men and just wear funky goggles forever, and glasses wouldn't do anything about it anyways. So I just have these galactic eyes. And so I'm working there, and it's like, it's a brothel. So I'm protected because I'm working there. I'm doing the things. The innkeepers, is this the same past life? No, it's not. It's just odd to have two brothel past lives. That's all. It's just interesting to me. It's not. Past life tales of sexual trauma. Okay, here we go. And Scorpio rising conjunct Pluto, obviously. It's built into my chat. So let's see. I'm working, and like, it's not in the same town, but it's within the vicinity. So it gets word to my birth family that I'm alive, that I'm okay, but that I'm visibly woo-woo. Visibly woo-woo. Looks like my sisters. I see my sisters. I do face my parents in that lifetime, but it's never accepted. It just is what it is. But they tell me that they love me, but they can't be around me. Which is, again, a common theme if you've listened to my past life tale Atlantis. It's a common theme that I'm not able to be around my birth parents. It's a common theme in this life as well. So the parallels are there's usually like an arc, a crescendo, if you will. A common blueprint. But I come back to town, and this is cool. People come to me for healings, but it's under the guise of the brothel. So I'm able to see people as a healer in a way that people don't question you going to see a prostitute during that time, and people don't question you going to an inn, but they question you going to a healer. Yeah. So that's fascinating to me. They're showing me I eventually get my own little cabin, my own little house, my own little like space to do healings and apothecary work and tend to the earth, and I get animals, and you become the healer and the protector of that community and that space, and people revere you, and they know that you're there on purpose, and they don't bother you, and they don't demonize you, they don't hurt you, they accept you, and they love you because it's visible how different you are, how special you are. Your eyes are universes, and so it's without question. That's kind of cool. Sometimes you need to have something physical. Right now, in this time and space, it's the vibe. It's like you can tell when someone shines, you can tell when they're 5D, you can tell all those different things. But, during witch hunting times, that wasn't really, like, you tried to cover it up. I mean, it's curious. I mean, black on black on black on black on black is like my main color scheme, but sometimes I put on red, or sometimes I wear a little bit like that green tube top that y'all have seen before. I really love. But yeah. There's something tucked in there. They're saying there's something else. It's the divine masculine that you help. Holy shit. It's the divine masculine men that are just as woo-woo that you help, Sarah, where they like feel safe within you, like within your space, because it's the wise woman that was meant to be like the wise healer of the time, to give the safety for the men to go out and kill animals and fight wars. And, you know, you check the astrology, you would help give grace to the soul of the animal, you would be the healer. Like, the pairing of the wise woman and the divine masculine is intrinsic to like the awakening. It's intrinsic to just any sort of divinity. One cannot be without the other. One cannot be the other. One cannot exist without the other doing the opposite, the immediate opposite. My divine feminine cannot amalgamize to be a divine masculine. Divine masculine cannot amalgamize to be a divine feminine, but one needs the other. It's a trust fall together. So the men would come to me and I would help them protect, I would help them fight battles and win wars. And really, like, could sense when something was off, when something was coming, was all these different things. So I had, you know, a really important seat at the table. That's really cool. That's really cool. So to end up being like revered and respected within that lifetime. There was this like reel that I saw the other day, and it highlighted the movie 300. And I wanted this is the perfect parable for the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and the ancient ways. Where that famous scene where the guy kicks the guy into the sinkhole. He's like, "This is Sparta!" And he kicks him. The second before he does that, he turns to his wife. And she goes, and then he turns back, and then he kills him. She gave him the go-ahead. One of the most beautiful phrases, and gives me the grace, since I am in between partners and waiting for my divine masculine to come. She says to him before he leaves, "Come back wearing your shield or on it." There's no in between. So ladies, if you're still waiting for him, be patient. He's training dragons right now to come help the awakening. Just vibe. Just vibe. There's no way that you could mess this up. Truly, you don't have to be out. You don't have to be doing your things. If you want to vibe at home, honey, because something will happen where something breaks and that he will be the electrician that comes in. He'll find you. Just trust him and give him as much time as he needs. My guides are so expressive and so cute whenever I like smash the information. They're very, very excited about it, and they're just like, "Yes, you did it. Great job, honey." Okay, cool. Thank you so much for being here. I think that is it. Do I want to put the broth one in here? It's really the only view I have of it is that I was the oldest worker in the brothel. That was it. Yeah, I don't need to do a whole past life tale on that. That was just literally it. It hits to my 36-year-old human avatar's heart as she's a waiter, and she's, you know, like working sometimes with like young 20-year-olds and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh, that's when you were born? Oh, okay. Well, you could be how old and drink liquor right now? Nope, I was at a Spice Girls concert before you were born. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. How many past lives do you remember? Start writing them down and documenting them, because like I said, and many other healers and light workers and channelers have talked about that. We have access to all of these lives right now, like a fly's eye view, like a disco ball view, but we won't always. So these are origin stories for me, and these are why I am the way that I am, and why maybe you perceive me to be different and things like that, but they're not me, they're just components of me. Past, present, future, all happening at the same time. So I don't identify with any of these past life tales. I'm a mystic, consciousness from a different time and space that came down, that's running this divine feminine human avatar named Sarah. Yeah, she's pretty cool. I love you. And brave. It takes a lot to be as vulnerable and to put all these things out onto the public stage to be judged. So thank you. I love you.